Although I wanted to make continuity and connections between my products to ensure that I had a coherent brand identity when promoting the film, I wanted to make these links meaning and purposeful. I wanted to make these links encode meaning for the audience and allow my consumer to understand the narrative of the film, rather than them just being links to ensure that my products are coherent. I wanted this given that it would allow me to make my marketing campaign look much more professional. It would allow me to create a professional and sophisticated looking product that was similar to real life media marketing campaigns, given that they often combine their media products through the use of symbolism in order to encode meaning for the audience about the narrative of the film. Therefore, when producing all three of my media products, I thought about different ways in which I could combine my products successfully through the use of symbolism that I had used to encode meaning for the audience. This would allow me to therefore create a successful, coherent brand identity for my film. Given that I had designed for Bee to have a bold statement makeup design, I decided that I wanted to combine my media products through the use of symbolism associated with her lipstick. I wanted to use this bright, bold statement matte lipstick in order to encode meaning. The lipstick she wore was red, however, given that it was a matte shade, it made it look slightly darker and thus more like a brown shade. The matte design to the lipstick makes the lipstick look less bright and bold. As mentioned in my other video on makeup, I did want to use the makeup designs that I had created in order to create a sense of realism, which would therefore create continuity between my products. However, I also wanted to use the makeup designs as a way of creating symbolism within my piece and thus combining them in a very effective and coherent manner. Bright red often symbolizes passion, love, and sexual desire. Therefore, the way in which I designed for her lipstick shade not to be bright red, but instead a matte shade, thus meant the lipstick was not as bright and helped to symbolize the fact that as a result of Bee's mental illness, Bee felt trapped, meaning that she did not feel the loving sexual desire for her boyfriend anymore. Red also connotes and symbolizes danger and anger, thus meaning that I have been able to use the red lipstick to have a multifunctional symbolism and encode the fact as a result of her mental illness, she is putting herself and others potentially in danger, whilst also being able to show that she feels angry and frustrated all the time as a result of her mental illness. The way in which I have encoded this throughout all three of my products not only shows how I have been able to combine my media products in an effective manner to create continuity between my texts, but it also demonstrates how I have been able to use consistent symbolism within all three of my media products in order to try and help my consumer to decode the dominant reading and understand the narrative of my trailer. As you can see, I have successfully been able to use this matte lipstick look within several different shots within my trailer. For example, the high aerial shot of Bee in the bed, which is functioning as an establishing shot within our trailer, shows this lipstick design being used. This shot is a close-up, thus meaning that right from the very start of the trailer, the consumer's attention is drawn to this matte lipstick look, given that they are encouraged to start decoding the symbolism behind the object and start thinking about what it means. The way in which the matte lipstick choice has been reaffirmed successfully throughout different shots within my trailer successfully helps to establish this lipstick as a theme within my trailer, thus encouraging my audience to decode the symbolism behind the matte lipstick. Another shot which uses this matte lipstick look and exploits the symbolism behind the matte lipstick look is the shot of Bee in the bath. This aerial shot once again is captured using a close-up, thus meaning that the audiences are encouraged to look at the features on the face, one of them being her lipstick. This therefore successfully allows the audience to decode the symbolism behind the lipstick designs that I have included within this shot. Another example within my trailer where you can see this matte lipstick look being used is in this shot here where Bee is looking into the mirror. The lights around the mirror help draw attention to the features on her face, given that the lights are bright and intense. Therefore, the way in which I have used the lights around the mirror helps to draw attention to her lipstick and thus encourages the audience to decode the deeper layers of symbolism behind the lipstick. This therefore shows how I have helped point my audience towards the symbolism that I have encoded within my film. This is another example of a shot which uses this matte lipstick look. In this shot, the way in which her hair is covering her eyes means that you can't see her face. Therefore, you look at other features on her face, such as her lipstick. Therefore, the way in which I have captured this shot successfully draws my audience's attention to the matte lipstick look which has been used, thus encouraging my audience to decode the symbolism behind the matte lipstick look. This therefore once again shows how within my trailer I have pointed and directed my consumer towards this matte lipstick look, encouraging them to decode the symbolism behind the look. This is another example of a shot where I've been able to place emphasis on the matte lipstick that B is wearing, thus allowing me to encourage my audience to decode the meanings behind this matte lipstick. In this shot, the way in which B screams means the audience focus on her mouth. Therefore, the way in which I also designed for her to wear matte lipstick during this shot meant that the audience were forced to look at the lipstick colour and style that she was wearing. This therefore once again shows another shot within my trailer where I have hinted and encouraged my consumer to encode the deeper layers of meaning behind this matte lipstick look. Finally, the last example from my trailer I will talk about is this mid-shot here. I took this mid-shot in my room, meaning that I could turn on the bright lights around the mirror. This therefore meant that the bright lights enhanced parts of her face, thus meaning that the audiences were drawn to the different features of her face, one being her lipstick. This therefore meant that the way in which I set up the lighting within this room also helped to encourage my consumer to look at the lipstick that she was wearing. This therefore demonstrates how I was able to successfully encourage my audience and consumer to decode the deeper layers of symbolism behind the consistent makeup that B was wearing. Therefore, you are able to see from my trailer that in many shots I have ensured that B was wearing this matte lipstick look. This therefore successfully helped to establish this matte lipstick look as a key theme within my trailer, thus meaning that my audience were encouraged to decode the deeper layers of symbolism that I had encoded behind this matte lipstick look. This therefore shows how I was successfully able to encode meaning that I was then going to be able to use within my other products in order to combine my products in an effective manner. I had hoped that the consistent use of this matte lipstick was going to allow my audience to decode the symbolism regarding the fact that my central protagonist does not feel love, passion, and sexual desire for her boyfriend anymore as a result of her mental illness. I would hope to encode the fact that she feels angry, annoyed, and slightly frustrated all of the time, given that her mental illness is having such an impact on her everyday life. In order to create continuity through the use of symbolism, I needed to ensure that I encoded this symbolism within my ancillary products. This would allow me to effectively create continuity between my products and ensure that the symbolism and deeper layers of meaning were encoded throughout all three of my media products. Therefore, as you can see from the manner in which I used the matte lipstick on the images I took for both the poster and magazine helped me to combine my media products via the use of symbolism associated with the lipstick. On the poster, the manner in which I have added a red gradient filter to the image makes the lipstick look darker, given that the red gradient filter helps to create a greater contrast between her lipstick and her skin. This therefore demonstrates how I have been able to use the red gradient filter when editing my image on Photoshop to successfully enhance the symbolism that I was trying to encode within the poster. This therefore shows how I was able to use the matte lipstick within the poster to allow me to encode the fact that B does not feel this love, passion, and sexual desire for her boyfriend anymore, given that her mental illness is consuming her whole life. In terms of Bart's narrative codes, my use of the matte lipstick is functioning as a symbolic code, given that it is encoding a deeper layer of symbolism that relates directly to the narrative of how my central protagonist is feeling. The manner in which I have shown so far that I have been able to establish this matte lipstick through the use of both my poster and trailer in order to encode this deeper layer of symbolism successfully demonstrates how I've been able to encode meaning throughout my products and thus ensuring that I was able to effectively and successfully create continuity between my media products. Finally, I have also used this symbolism within my magazine front cover to ensure that there is complete synergy between my three media products, and that my media products are successfully encoding this deeper layer of symbolism for my consumer about the fact that Bea no longer feels this love and passion for her boyfriend, but instead feels angry and emotional towards him as a result of her mental illness. As you can see from the image which I took on the magazine front cover, I directed for Bea to wear this matte lipstick, which would be slightly darker than your usual bright red lipstick. Although I wanted to get her to wear the same lipstick in each of my shots, sometimes the lipsticks inevitably looked different, depending on the condition of her lip, and also the lighting in which the shot was being taken. Therefore, in order to make sure that the lipsticks looked similar and thus create continuity between my work, I sometimes edited the lipstick in Photoshop in order to ensure that the lipstick was going to encode this dominant reading. I also added a red gradient layer onto my image on my magazine front cover, meaning that I was successfully able to enhance the fact the lipstick was red and not as bright as your usual red lipstick. Therefore, my consumer's attention was drawn to the off-red shade of the lipstick from the red gradient filter which I had added to the image when editing in Photoshop. This therefore meant that I had encouraged my audience to decode the fact that the off-red colour was showing the fact that Bea's sexual desire, passion, and love she felt for Justin had been changed as a result of her mental illness. Therefore, the manner in which I have used this off-red lipstick colour throughout all three of my products successfully drew my consumer's attention to the lipstick. This therefore demonstrates the manner in which I have been able to encode deeper layers of meaning within my media products as a way of combining my text in a coherent manner. In terms of the reception theory, the manner in which I have repeatedly encoded the symbolism of her red lipstick showing the lack of passion and lust she feels within her life helps to establish this as the dominant reading that I wanted my audience to decode. The way in which I have woven this symbolism throughout all three of my media texts in a coherent manner encourages my audience and consumer to decode this dominant reading. This therefore successfully demonstrates the manner in which I have been able to combine my media products in an effective and successful manner. It demonstrates this given that I have been able to use symbolism behind the matte lipstick in order to consistently link all three of my media products and encode deeper layers of meaning for my audience.